It's a very pleasure to welcome you here. My name is Bastian Bergmann. I'm the program manager of the MIS MTech here, and I welcome you to our information session to give you a bit more details to our program. And we have this interactive session. We will start with some presentations, but also we have a short insights into a lecture with the speaker of today. But also we have an interactive element with breakout rooms where you can meet students, but also where you can meet alumni from the program to give you the broad spectrum of possibilities to speak to various stakeholders, I would say, of our program. But first, let me hand over to the director of this program, Stefano Brosoni. He's professor at D-MTEC. He will have the first part for tonight. So I hand over to Stefano Brosoni.
All right, Bastian, thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. It's a pleasure being here with you tonight. Being here the way we can be here together under the present circumstances. We have prepared a short introduction into the department and into the program to give you a broad idea, broad overview about the topics and the methods we leverage in the MIS program. I think this is one of the oldest and probably the largest at this stage weiterbildung program at MIS, at ETH generally. And we are quite proud of the students we attract and the impact we have on their careers. As Bastian said, we're going to have a number of interaction opportunities during this meeting, also to meet with current students and with alumni. What I was asked to offer you is a short introduction into the department, and then Bastian will continue with the program, while Pascal Roman will give you an example of a very important topic in the program. So me, briefly, then Bastian will introduce you to the program a little bit more in detail, and Pascal will give you an example which is quite telling about one of the topics, leadership, to which we give a lot of attention in the program, also about the interplay of theory and practice, with a heavy emphasis on practice, as you will see as we go along. So what do we have to offer? MTech, Management, Technology and Economics, is a still pretty young department within ETH, about 14 years old. So we enter well into adolescence at this point. It's already quite a large department with 23 research groups, pretty visible internationally. And again, very much at the interface between the world of research and the world of practice. We generate a pretty large number of spin-offs. I think this is only those who are officially branded as ETH spin-off. We actually have way more than this just the past couple of years, I think, created. On the next slide, please, Bastian. You see here the whole portfolio of programs we offer. Possibly not surprisingly, you see here that we offer a lot of weiterbildung programs. We don't have a bachelor program. We are present in a bachelor education through what you see on the top left. The Prisma project is basically a set of very practical project-based activities for bachelor students, but the department is very much focused in engaging people with a technical degree in engineering, in natural sciences, after they've gone to work already. We start with the MIS. We have a whole portfolio of short programs, CIS programs, in different areas. We are launching next year an executive MBA together with colleagues in St. Gallen. We're here to talk about the cornerstone of our offerings, the MIS MTech, which is right there in the middle. And this is in a very profound sense, our flagship program, in the sense that the program on which the department was funded 14 years ago. This program is actually older than the department itself. Now, what do we do and how we do things? Again, this is ETH, this is a technical school, so we like thinking that everything we do is evidence-based and practically relevant. So let me give you an example of what I mean by evidence-based. A very important topic of research and teaching across all chairs in both management and economics is change. Change, which is often triggered by technical change. Again, this is ETH. But that once initiated in technical terms, it becomes a discussion about organizations, about processes, about people. Now, what is the issue we all focus on? On the next slide, please. Is that overall, if you allow me to oversimplify it a bit, people do not like to change. This is one of my favorite inventors of all time. I don't know how many of you know him. Maybe not very famous, but if you look at the text on the right-hand side, he's a very broad inventor. I think at some point he was the holder of about 190 patents at a time when that was a big number. This was 70 years ago plus. And yet his opinion about the attitude of the world toward change was not very optimistic. Now, I would like to have a short discussion about it, which is based on research which has been done in my own group, to give you a little bit of evidence behind these kind of statements that are very common, to suggest that this is actually true. People do not like to change on average. And yet there are ways to engage them in a conversation about change. Okay, so the next slide shows you a picture I like a lot, now a little bit oldish. This is a paper some of my colleagues and I published some years ago. We put into a brain scan a relatively large number, nearly 90 people. And these people happen to be engineers, all of them. A few natural scientists, and all were active in research and development, innovation-related tasks, if you like. And we asked them to play a simple game in which they had to basically choose between repeating something they'd done before. This is what we call in my jargon exploitation, versus doing something new. This is what we call in my jargon exploration. You could call it execution and innovation if you prefer. But basically, on the left-hand side, you see what happens in the brain of a person with about 7 years of work experience, which is very close to the average work experience of our MAS students, by the way, when they execute, when they exploit. There is a lot of stuff going on in relation to memory, persistence, reward perception. What you see on the right-hand side is what happens in the brain of the same people when they explore, when they do something different. There are very strong activation of what we call the attention control region, which is a composite circuitry, which basically allow humans to do two things. When they engage in change, first of all, they are capable of identifying the direction in which it is appropriate to change. That would be the bilateral frontoparietal regions and the frontopolar cortex, if you like. You are planning, you are establishing cause-effect relationships. The anterior circular cortex is also important because this is our little cost-benefit analysis engine. It tells us how much we gain relative to how much we lose when we take a risky decision, basically when we change. Do note that these two subsystems together give us a sense about the direction in which we have to change and give us an estimate of the benefits related to change. Now, what happens in parallel as people have done A and B? Well, there is this peculiar activation down here of the anterior insula. And this is the part of the brain that gets lightened up when we do something we don't like. So we are changing. We know the direction of change. We have decided that the benefits outweigh the cost, and we still don't like it. So in a very profound way, people do not like to change, even when they are engaged in change. If you go, please, Bastian, on the next slide, you see a little bit of a zoom into this last result. And there are two types of negative emotions associated to change. One is anxiety. Anxiety is related to, again, the activation of the insula. And that is something that happens every time we abandon an established habit. So we all are creatures of habit. Again, this sounds like common sense, but it's actually true. Over time, we develop routines and we get attached to those routines, to those habits. And when we leave one behind, we experience anxiety. This is not over, though. There is another type of negative emotion, even stronger, fear, which is associated to the fact that not only are we abandoning an habit we know, we're also undertaking something we've never done before. So every example of change is associated to experiencing negative emotions, even if we are committed to change. Okay, these are the activations of people who are exploring. Now, how do we overcome this stuff? We overcome these negative emotions by developing skills, abilities that help us introduce change and contain its risks, and by making sense of what is it that motivates people to change. Motivation and skills. These are two foundational building blocks of everything we teach. They are very much related to the discussion about leadership, by the way. If you want to oversimplify a little bit the division of labor between management and economics within the department, and I'm trivializing a bit, but economists spend a lot of time focusing on the issue of incentives and motivation. Think about regulations, government regulations that they provide us incentives to actually change the way we behave. Management folks spend a lot of their time discussing skills and abilities at the individual level, at the organizational level. So one is more targeting the issue of anxiety, and one is more targeting the issue of fear, if you like, again. But this, I think, gives you a pretty simplified but still realistic view of why we have this combination of management and economics, research-wise, but also teaching-wise. Now, why this opening on change and the obstacles to change? Well, because change is difficult, and yet, on the next slide, please, there isn't much of an alternative to it. There are a number of grand challenges, of gigantic issues that we can solve technically, but we've been very slow at, because implementing solutions is a very slow process for the reasons I just discussed, and many others, but those are quite important. The discussion about climate risk or environmental issues, by the way, is also very pervasive in a lot of the modules that we offer in the program. Another big discussion, very public out there on the next slide, is the whole conversation about the digital transformation. Okay, and again, this is ETH. We have proudly developed some of the technologies that are driving this transformation, and yet this transformation is very uncertain, quite risky, and still persistently slow. And again, this is related to some of the arguments I sketched very briefly so far. Again, the digital transformation, not surprisingly, is a pretty important topic wherever we go. But again, this is MTEC at ETH. Our core focus of attention of research in teaching is on people. On the next slide, you see exactly this. This is our target here. This is what we are really aiming at as we develop our educational programs at whichever level we go in, enabling our students to become leaders that are going to be able to really overcome the obstacles to change and actually lead transformation in the direction of adopting really for the benefit of everyone digital technologies, in the direction of finally addressing seriously the discussion about climate change, or in whichever direction you decide it is appropriate to push, considering your context, your company, your career objectives. All right. So this is what we do at MTEC. We help students to learn theory, which is important, but also to understand how to apply it and where to apply it, and how to critically assess it. To do this, we help you in any way we can to forge links with faculty, but also among students and with the alumni. We are trying to create an environment in which we enable everyone to succeed in collaboration with others. There is no lone hero here. There is no lone inventor. There is no lone anyone. There are people who work in teams, lead teams. Leadership is not to be confused with authority or hierarchy. Anyone can be a leader, given the context, given the skills, given the motivation. And this is the kind of mindset we try to develop together with all our students. I'm going to leave the floor now to Bastian, if I'm not mistaken, who is going to go more in the details of the program. Any questions? I'm here, and I will be around for quite some time still. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Stefano. Again, yes, thank you for also the remark on the chat. Please use the chat as a way to communicate during our presentation. You can already post some questions there. There are some people who have the chat in view, and if there are some more questions on a specific topic, I would be more than happy to answer this during my presentation now. So what I want to do now is I go a bit more closer now to our program to give you much more insights on the different building blocks of our program to give you much more background information on how you could plan your program, what kind of different options you have. So please feel free, use the chat and give me feedback or give me further advice to go deeper here or there. Let me start where Stefano also ended, with the potential of MTEC, or let's say the characteristic of MTEC, and give you an idea of what you'll be able then to do with your degree. Yeah? You will be able then to cut across discipline. This is very important. This is a mindset you will acquire during also our program, to be able to deal with different skills, with different people, with different backgrounds of people. I mean, and also in our program, we have people with different backgrounds, coming from the natural science, coming from the more engineering science, but also with different industry experience, bringing together organizational cultures from various perspectives, I would say. And during our program, you learn on the basis of this and to integrate these different attitudes. Very important is it's very great to have ideas, but it's even more important to put ideas into practice, to communicate your ideas, to put your ideas into perspective, and to collaborate and to make it let's say effective in a sense. So this is also something this dimension is pretty much also in the focus of our program. There are different vehicles, different formats where you learn and be able to develop your skill set there as well. Yes, and this was also already mentioned. Collaboration is, we take this also very much at the heart of all of our programs at MTEC. You will have different opportunities in our lectures to work together in different formats, with different skill set. So this is another key element to our program. Now let me come to more of the building blocks of our program, and you see here already a visualization of the idea. It's not mainly about taking bricks out, but it's kind of giving you the possibility to build your own tower in a sense. And when you look at our program, I could say that there's even a possibility to build a tower with a bit more, let's say, dense areas and a bit more loose areas, just reflecting your personal interest into different topics. That's why we use this picture here, to give you an idea already that it also really much depends on you, how you build your tower with the different elements we offer you. And that's going to be part of your journey at MTEC. So let me start here with the list. There are core courses which basically provide the more or less fundamental aspects we want to give you at hand, and they are then further developed into special trainings to develop your skills. Then there are MIS electives which go a bit more deeper into certain areas. There's also the course abroad, which gives you a bit of an idea to make experience in a different environment. Then there are also extra departmental courses meant to be courses outside of our MTEC department, giving you the opportunity either to go engineering department at MTEC, or to natural science, or to the computer science department, to go into specific domains of technology even more deeper and gain further insights there as well. Finally, there's the master thesis which close your program. And also there are different elements like the MIS Plus initiative. I also have a slide there, give you an idea of how we build community, how we build communities with our alumni. That's very important to us. Also with the mentoring program we run. So that gives you an additional element in addition, basically, to the lecture formats more in class. So let me start with the 3 building blocks and give you a bit of flavor there. So let's start here on the left with our core course portfolio. As you see here on the list, they fall into different areas of content, I would say, going along the basic areas, ranging from general and human resource management to technology, operations management, but also going to economics and financial management. And you are asked to pick courses there from this portfolio out of these competence areas as such. So you find all these details in our study plan and our study guide, but basically these core courses are a requirement for you to take. And with respect to the format of these courses, they are really the one which are really run lecture-like. You are in class at the moment in the virtual class, but they're supposed to be weekly, and they are also shared with other students at MTEC, giving you also the opportunity to link up with MSc students from our program, with students from other departments as well. So these are more classic lecture-like courses, and they will also close then with an examination at the end. Typically at the end of the semester, there's the exam phase, and these core courses then close with an examination. The second element I want to introduce here is the skill-based training, and also in view of Pascal's part today after me, he will go a bit more deeper there. Skill-based trainings are meant to be in a smaller group. They are offered in a block course format, highly interactive, in group work, and it allows you really to develop your own skills in a safe environment, to learn there, to have also a very close exchange with the lecturers. And these are meant to be these skill-based trainings. And after my talk, you will have an opportunity to see a bit of an insight of such a course, and a bit how the topics could look like in this one. The third element here on this slide on the right-hand side is the MIS electives. And in addition to these core courses, the MIS electives gives you then opportunities to go deeper into certain areas, allows you to go, let's say, into topics of digital transformation or topics of decision-making or climate. Typically, they are also offered more in a block course format. And there are lectures jointly with industry, jointly with professionals sharing the expertise, giving practical insights there as well. So it's a very valuable additional format to go deeper into certain topics. We call them MIS electives because also there you are only with your MIS peers in class. Maybe one more information, as I said already, in the core courses, you are sit together with students from the other programs as well. Take this as an opportunity. You can also then use the opportunity later to talk to students. This is usually an opportunity for you to collaborate, to meet, to link up with more people. And the MIS electives are then more closed to the MIS students. Finally, there's an additional element, which are the MTEC electives. And again, these are classes offered to all of our MTEC students. There are 30 more classes, which allow you also to go deeper, a bit depending on your personal interests in various topics. So let me move on to the next slide here. Starting over the left, the course abroad is also an important building block of our program. For the moment, the course abroad cannot take place due to the corona restrictions, but we look very much forward to return to this format. For the moment, we have the focus on Asia, and we are planning to return to Asia by next spring, if the situation allows. Specifically, you see here a picture of Singapore, where ETH has also a campus, and it's quite natural that we take this opportunity to have our program there as well. Usually, it's a one-week program, giving you lots of opportunities to gain experience there. We have organized a program integrating different perspectives of business making and cultural aspects there as well. Also, here are the extra departmental courses. As I said, these courses are the courses offered across ETH, so not at the department, and you can take the opportunity to go, let's say, really cross-disciplinary. You can go to computer science, you can deepen machine learning interests, you can go to the natural science department on climate, environmental aspects, but also to engineering, robotics. The full spectrum, I would say, of ETH technology is open to you. Of course, in a limited exposure, I would say. Also, given your time in this part-time program, but still there are some opportunities to which allows you to also go a bit deeper into selected topics. Finally, there's the master's thesis. Typically, one could collaborate with industry. You choose one chair of our 20 3 chairs at MTech where your interests lie, and you team up for a master thesis over 16 weeks. That's perfect. I would say a perfect opportunity to basically show all your skills and what you have learned over the 2 years. It goes right into the master thesis, and it's another opportunity also to link up with industry or to investigate cases, integrating your knowledge and expertise. So these were the 6 building blocks of our program, and I hope I was able to give you a bit of an idea of these different elements. I would like to continue by adding this more or less latest addition in order to also complement a bit our lectures, what we offer. And these are the MIS Plus talks and workshops. And the main feature here is that these talks are organized jointly with our students, but also with our alumni, and integrate across industry and the topics in our program. So you see here already our spring program, and you are more than invited to join already these talks. You find more information on our homepage, and there's also a link where you can register. But as you can see here, you have students involved as moderators, you have alumni there, and the topics vary a bit to be related to either a specific lecture or maybe to the fact that most of our students or some of our students are in career transitions, and we are more than happy to have to foster exchange on these topics there as well. So please, it's an invitation for you. Feel free to join up one of these talks, and happy to see you there. And if you join our program, more than happy to have your active contribution to one of the future talks there as well. Now, going a bit closer to the program structure now, unless there is any question in the chat, may I ask my colleagues if there are some more urgent questions, then please interrupt me.
Yes, there's one question. What is the difference to classical project management courses?
Classical project management courses. I have not sure what that means, but I can maybe give you some insights. Maybe Stefano, you have an idea?
I think I just replied in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
The answer for everyone is simply that IPMA is an excellent institution. They don't issue degrees. We offer excellent courses and certifications, but in a more focused and narrow way. We provide general management education to engineers and natural scientists, which include project management modules, for example, but not only those.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, and if I can quickly add, if you go on our website and look at the study plan, and then consult the ETH course catalog, you can find detailed descriptions of all of the courses from the various areas that Bastian mentioned: core courses, skill-based trainings, and electives, MIS and department as well. I just put the link for the study plan in the chat, and in the study plan itself, there is the address of the course catalog.
Thanks, Morgan. Great. Okay, let me continue here with this slide, giving you basically the 4 semesters of our program, and the different elements, just to give you a bit of a time feeling of what will be your time when you join our program. Concluding here with the 4th semester, that said, I mean, there might be reasons to extend. I know that questions come up also after our general presentation. There could be a 5th semester. Of course, there are reasons to it. I mean, typically our participants in the program are in the age when they build family, when they make career transitions. So there can always be reasons why you can ask for an additional semester. However, we design our program as this slide shows, but that said, there could be reasons to it, and we are more than flexible to handle these cases. Now, starting here with the core courses, and then you see this line already a bit fading out. That's meant to be that once you get into the program, it's very important that you start with these core courses, in a sense. So right from the beginning, it's important that you we are on the same page, basically, and in terms of concepts and in terms of backgrounds. So we kindly ask or highly recommend for you to start with the core courses. And as you can see here, it fades out. Typically in the first semester and in the second semester, you take these core courses, and also which is finishing with these examinations. So this is also a kind of additional challenging element to have these examinations. But then after the second and third semester, you can really enjoy the flexibility of our program, I would say, crossing the elective courses, crossing the skill-based trainings offered as block course formats. They are also offered during times when there is no lecture time at ETH, either June or January or August. We try to be as much as flexible as our external lecturers or as our lecturers allow us to be. So this gives you a high amount, I would say, of flexibility to design your profile. Let me continue here. In addition to the picture I draw already in terms of these different elements, we also regard our program as a journey through your personal development. And this journey begins already when you enter our program. We have a specifically designed onboarding workshop with a coaching session, making you familiar, of course, with our program nature, but also in order that you have the appropriate mindset, what we would say, to be open to change, to use these different formats we offer in a most effective way, in a sense. That's very important for us to give you these tools or to give you these insights already right from the beginning. And this then translates into the different elements going along our program, which are the skill-based trainings, which build your personal development. But also finally, we have a specifically designed mentoring program for you, which is of very high value to our students in the sense to have a personal relationship over a certain time window with a mentor, basically allowing for, let's say, exchange, which we cannot offer sometimes during a lecture, but it's more like to have this as an additional very valuable element for you to team up with a mentor from the industry, looking back at some professional career, giving you a bit of insights there as well. So this covers a bit also the journey in our program, the personal development journey in our program, which basically is another layer over the 2 years you will enjoy our program. Yeah, so let me add a bit of information to how you can organize our program, how you can put together your bricks to build your own tower. I started with this picture in the beginning. So coming back to the core course format, it's very important that you are aware that these are lecture-like formats. They are offered on specific days per week, which allow you then to bundle the courses. But you have to be aware that these are weekly sessions. However, there are lots of opportunities then if you go to the electives, if you go to the skill-based trainings, which are offered in the block course format, to have Friday and Saturday courses. Please have a view in our course catalog to get a more detailed view on this one. But here, just to give you the visual idea that there's flexibility, but also when we talk about courses, there's the characteristics that they are offered in a weekly format as well. So with respect to time, yeah, let me just give you here also a visual idea of a lecture which could be done jointly with industry. You see here the boardroom of Swiss Re. So they're not the board members in the room, but our students. And it's just a kickoff session for a case challenge together with the company, and students were asked to spend a semester on developing certain ideas on a case challenge, and then they were invited to present and in the meantime discuss also with case managers. That's something which typically lecture or a course format, an elective course format, could look like as such. The class profile, you also see this information in our brochures. Usually we have a cohort of 60 students starting our program, quite diverse backgrounds, quite diverse nationalities. I already referred to the average age in our program, and also typically our people have 8 years of work experience when they enter our program. Also, and when we look at the professional backgrounds, there's quite diversity. Of course, this program is meant to be designed to our ETH community in the sense, meaning natural scientists, engineers, but also we allow for diversity there. It's very much appreciated. We are really interested to create a kind of interdisciplinary community, and you are, here the charts give you an idea of the backgrounds, with manufacturing, electronic devices being the lead, but still we have people from banks, we have people from robotics, quite a diverse set of people. And this is also something which basically helps you to connect, to build your network, to gain insights into different perspectives, people sharing their insights in the different formats. You learn a lot about the other industries our people are in, and you make connections, I think, maybe even for life. For the applications, I would say there's a requirement of this minimum of 2 years experience. Of course, we also have requirements for your university degree. And of course, there's also the requirement, or let's say the fact that we offer all our lectures only in English. That's a key fact. Please be aware of this, but I guess you noticed already during our session, but also when you prepared for the session, looked at the documents, that these things are there. Our alumni, just to also give you an idea here of when they leave our program, they still stay part of our program in a sense. They are very happy with it. We are proud to report these statistics here. 96% of our alumni would recommend the program to their peers. That's actually also what happens a lot. So we are very thankful to have this community, to have this community also giving us something back, also from integrating the perspectives again. So this could give you also a flavor of this perspective that we have this additional dimension in our program. How to apply? This is also information which we share publicly, of course. There's an application deadline. You have to submit your documents. Maybe just to say, after our session, there's also a person, Stefan, here from the School of Continuing Education. This is the institute at ETH where you have to basically formally apply. So it's very important that you link up there, that you do your application online. There's the application deadline by end of April, and for every kind of formal questions related to your documents, please reach out to the School of Continuing Education. They are waiting for your questions, and they would be more than happy to support you during the application process as such. So now that was a bit about our main building blocks of our program. I hope I was able to give you some ideas, some perspectives, some benefits, and some insights of our program. Now let me hand over to Pascal for his part on his lecture. Pascal is an external lecturer, so to say, of our program, one of the building blocks or key stakeholders as well, as you can see. So Pascal, happy to take away my share here. And the floor is yours. Thank you so much already.
Bastian. Hello, also from my side, a warm welcome. I also saw that some of the alumni have already been part of my seminar, so if you have any questions about it, also ask them. As you mentioned, Bastian, I'm a part-time lecturer. My full-time job is I'm an internal consultant for organization development with SBB. So my task is to really deal with the topics of leadership to help teams really thrive. My academic background is, in a sense, I've got the double degree. I first studied literature, English and French, so that helps me deal with the communication part pretty well. And then I did a double degree MBA and a Master of Science in International Management. So I've got quite a vast background of most topics you need to know about personal leadership skills. That's what I want to give some more information about now. And I'm just going to share my screen, hoping that things work out. so I can visualize some parts I want to share. Basically, what I want to give you is a deep dive into skill-based training. Bastian mentioned that. It's something you can choose just to like work on a smaller, but in a smaller group in a more interactive way. So basically the skills or the topics offered are the ones I just listed. They all have relevance for really, as it says, like skill-based thing. Like you've got an input about design thinking, you've got like introduction to personal branding and storytelling, you have applied business ethics, you have negotiation skills and advocacy skills, then the human resource management, innovation, creativity, personality traits, last but not least, the personal leadership skills. I just covered the last one because that's the one I obviously know best. Everything is about like giving you the skills you need to become the personal skills you need to become an effective leader, to basically start your own like rocket and move or transition into the position you really fancy. It was already kind of mentioned, but just to like recap, like the skill-based trainings, they're more in the form of a seminar, like interaction, self-reflection. And it's not that they're better or worse. It just kind of complements what you get through the core courses, through the electives in the form of a lecture. So they give you the chance to apply what you have already heard. They help you self-reflect. And actually the self-reflection is really the core part, one of the core parts I focus on during the seminar. I would even say that self-reflection is the key skill of a good leader. And well, maybe I shouldn't say that too loud, but most leaders I have come across, they really lack the core competence of self-reflection. They rarely think about the effects they get through their behavior. So that's maybe one of the reasons I focus that much during my personal leadership skills seminar. The learning journey, which I draft, I'll show you that on the next page. And it really is a learning journey. It shall be individual and immersive. So basically we go like again and again through the 6 steps. It is like, I want to know what kind of prior knowledge you have. Like for instance, the topic about leadership styles, like all the skills you need, the specific behaviors you need to become or to be a good leader. Before like telling you more about it, I first want to know, have you undergone some leadership training? What's your prior knowledge? Quite simply, I don't want to bore you, but I want to complete what you already know. And then the second step is to create an awareness of the problem. Like in the sense, what are the current challenges of a leader, like complexity, fast moving environment, higher expectations from team members, maybe also the shared or the fact that leadership becomes more shared. And basically by doing the second step, I want to create motivation with you to really immerse yourself with the topic I'm offering you. The third step is basically I give you an outlook on the solution and its added value. I give you an outlook that basically helps you become ready of the knowledge I want to give you. And obviously I also want in the fourth step explain you like how you reach the solution. Like for instance, what are the latest leadership developments? What kind of behavioral aspects are really helpful? In what situations could it be helpful to show which behavior? And the 5 is, give it a try. I want to give you the chance, for instance, to self-reflect, to role play, to discuss, to prepare a presentation. If you only hear it, but you don't try it, it will always remain a very vague knowledge and won't be connected with your everyday life. So basically to make your learning sustainable, I want to give you the possibility to apply it, as I said, and in the last step to draw conclusions, to answer questions, and to decide what you want to try on. So basically these 6 steps, you go through them many times during the in total 6 days, and there are many methodologies which I can use to make your learning journey as exciting, sometimes also as tiring as possible. I want to get you out of your comfort zone so that your brain expands, your skills expands, and you become, let's say, in very simple form, a better leader. The topics, you obviously would want to learn more about the topics. The topics are based on 2 things. I want you to understand the past, where we come from. That can be like your more hierarchical organizational structure. It's more command and control. It's like management by objectives and it's money orientation. But I want also you to learn more about the potential future. As I said, that can be shared leadership, like the agile world, importance of motivation. I want you to become more aware of how tomorrow's world can be, so you're prepared as a leader. And leader can also just be a team member which adopt certain skills or certain tasks which are leadership oriented. And in order to do so, to understand the past and become ready for the future, I've got 6 days and basically 4 topics. The 4 topics are communication in general and the business communication. Then I want you to learn more about self-management, like how do you manage yourself emotionally, time-wise, and with your tasks. I'd say that emotional self-management is the major one. Again, maybe when you think of your own leaders, they more decide like on the whim of an emotion. And if it's just a small decision, that may be okay, but if it's something major, then it helps to be more self-reflective. Understanding yourself and the others, that's about personality typologies, like how do people tick and how can you tick along or how you don't want to tick along. That may be something which is helpful as well. And the last 2 days are really about leadership. Like leadership, its future, leadership tools. Usually the 6 days are never enough to cover everything. So what I should try to do is understand what your specific needs are and just orient or customize my 6 days to your needs. Obviously that's, well, what I promise. Last but not least, you obviously would want to know if I fulfill my promises. I just got you some quotes. That's my last chart. These are just some quotes I get, and obviously they make me quite happy because I seem to succeed what I want to achieve. I want to offer you a possibility to fill the gap between theory and daily practice. I want to offer you a lifelong learning journey by giving you as many inputs as possible. I'll give you a chance to apply leadership concepts, like especially with class activities. And I want to give you know-how holistically in the sense that I show you how things interconnect, how communication has a say when it's about leadership, like also the self-management, the self-knowledge. So basically it all connects in the end during the 6 days. And well, I look forward to potentially welcome you in class. It's always a great experience for me in addition to my normal job. I forgot to mention I work for SBB. So that's the company I come from. So I'm basically based in transportation and this sort of industry. And I think that's about it. I stopped sharing and I think, Bastian, it's back to you, correct?
Yeah, thank you so much. Let me just bring back my slides. Yeah, again, thank you very much, Pascal, for your insights. Maybe just to conclude on this one, which also makes our program very unique in a sense. So you saw the presentation, the initial presentation from Stefano Brosoni, giving you a bit of flavor of our scientific insights and scientific parts of our program, which translate then also into our education. And then you have Pascal with additional elements sharing his experience in another format. So that's basically what our program, I would say, makes unique. And you see here this integration of technology and management going together hand in hand. This is something which is actually at the heart of our program. And the strong link to research, I hope we were also able in this session also to give you a bit of flavor. This is unique at ETH, I would say, in a sense that we have also the technology exposure there, which is then playing into our program as well. You have the flexibility in shaping. I hope I was able a bit to show you or to give you a visual idea when we go back to this tower I presented with the bricks. Of course, there are bricks which need to be in the tower. These could be the core courses, and there needs to be electives, there needs to be skill-based trainings, but where you place these bricks, how dense they are in certain time, let's say heights, that depends a bit on you. And also over the 2-year program, you are more than, let's say, flexible to have one semester taking a bit of more courses. Maybe there are some yeah, some other opportunities you need to follow on, either in your work, on your private life. Our program allows you to step for a semester back, or to go for a semester much deeper into the program. This is a fact which basically then allows you to design your program as such you need it. However, this tower has to stand, so you have to make care that you take the right bricks, and there's a bit of regulations also around our program. And our documents provided in addition, I think I have also another slide with some references there. No, this is not that slide, but still, please have a look. Also, I'm available in the breakout rooms if you have more specific questions on the structure, on the different elements, and on the flexibility. I'm more than happy to give you insights, but also I guess our alumni here, our students, and they can share firsthand experience as well.